Hey folks, this is Ardwulf with another episode of Ardwulf Presents. We are picking back up where we left off on the Isle of Dawn in Vanguard Saga of Heroes. As you may recall from the last episode, we're going to try and keep these bad boys under half an hour, by the way, because the 1 hour monstrosity I did the other day turned out to be a bitch to render and upload. So we want to kill some guys here until they drop this Ring of Zalaz, and then we can... Let's take a look at that quest again real quick. We can kill Hobgoblin Stonecallers, we get the ring. We use the ring on corrupted minions until the aspect of Zalaz appears. Looks like we got still quite a few other players around here. So let's start killing. And we're over halfway through level 7 here, by the way. And that was quick. Okay, so I think I have to equip that. I don't, actually. What I have to do is... Let's see how this works. Pretty much I just have to target them and activate the item. Shit. It looks like I can do that after they're dead too, which is helpful. Still got more hobgoblins to kill, just because this guy's in the way. Looks like I'm supposed to do this in combat, actually. Oh, and there he is. It seems like I'm not able to target him. I forget how this works. It's not necessarily intuitive. Do I have to talk to him or something? Actually, I do. There he is. He's hitting pretty hard. But we took him down with relative ease. Thanks to the Blood Mage. And his very robust ability to survive this kind of stuff. Now you'll see what I did rotation-wise here. I've got these bursting cysts, which deal damage and increase blood union. And it also does extra damage if I'm at Blood Union 3 or more. So I hit this 4 times, hit Despoil once, which also gives me a rank in Blood Union, and then hit Scarlet Ritual, which takes 4 Blood Union away, but does quite a bit of damage. And Despoil has the additional benefit of healing me.
May I help? What is not clear?
Turn this guy in. And I want to say I'm turning this in back in Sun Village, which is good because that's where I wanted to go anyway. One of the things I would like to do, this Isle of Dawn in particular, and all the Vanguard starting areas really that are currently in the game, but the Isle of Dawn in particular was set up to give you a level 1 to 10 experience in all 3 spheres. Spears. Yes, there are spears on the island too. Looks like we are getting a little bit of hitchiness and some lag. My understanding from the scuttlebutt around the Vanguard forums is that this lag issue is relatively severe down here in the starter areas, but once you get out of the 1 to 10 area and you have some options as to where you can go, and there are quite a few options, then it starts to even out quite a bit. This is Sun Charm.
What is not clear?
Okay, so we gotta go talk to this other guy.
Go with honor.
Incidentally, I've got settings generally on high with a couple other things turned up, so my settings are actually pretty high. And I'm relatively comfortable playing at this frame rate. This tree over here too, we're gonna go check this out. This tree over here with the big white name over it is a harvesting resource. So before we even talk to that guy, you'll recall that we have a harvesting quest, and we have a whole bunch of trees here that we can actually target. Ah, excellent. We have jute plants as well. So all I'm doing is right-clicking. I will change instantly to my harvesting gear. And you'll see some trees going down over here. I'll show you that in a second. And I just right-click on the remnants of the item, the node, and I collect the items. Let me pull up my inventory here while I'm doing this. You'll notice I have 17 jute sheaves. Sheaves. And when I get 20 of those, I can right-click on them and combine them into a item that stacks. In stacks of, it's basically a stack of 20, and that's the actual, and on that one I actually got this attuning dust of health, which is an item that will come in handy in crafting later. Let's collect that. Did I got it already. Okay, so let's go look for a couple other things. Looks like we do have some mobs down here. It's a level 7 mob. I'm level 7, so it should be okay. Actually, I hit level 8 at some point in there. I didn't even notice. We've got some mineral clusters down here too. So let's harvest this jute plant. Got another tree over here. I didn't really have a solid strategy for picking the 2 harvesting professions that I did. My highest level harvester is a lumberjack, so it's not like I don't have plenty of this stuff in the bank. Okay, so now you'll notice that I have 36 weakened logs and 35 jute sheaves. So I will right-click on them to combine 20 of them into a jute bale. And I like to organize my harvesting stuff like this. And I believe now we will find that we have sufficient resources. We're going to go talk to this quest giver first. One of the things that I'm curious to find out, as I think I mentioned in a previous video, is whether you are able to advance beyond level 10 now. You see this guy's got some civic diplomacy available too. Whether you're able to advance beyond level 10 now on the Isle of Dawn. You weren't able to previously, but there's no really good reason to maintain that requirement now. We'll get this one as well.
Do you need work?
And for those of you who missed it in previous videos, the shield is adventuring quests. Let's actually look in this house too. Nothing of particular importance here. Let's actually go back here because we definitely want to keep these charms. We get the third one at the end, or very close to the end anyway. Okay, so let's head on back to Sun Village. And dig into either harvesting or crafting after we turn in this harvesting quest. Is there a pointer to this guy? No, there isn't. But he's right down here someplace. There he is. I hope I have enough.
My wares off.
Looks like I do. Very good. Now I can select some additional harvesting gear, which looks exactly the same. At least it used to work. I could mouse over an item and it would actually show it on my character. So it doesn't really matter. These are all functionally, statistically exactly the same. I get all three of them actually, so that's cool. Okay, so let's sell that stuff. Cannot be deconstructed, cannot be deconstructed, cannot be deconstructed. This is not a dust I can use in harvesting. This is my old staff, so I can get rid of that. I have a 6-slot bag here, which is the same size as all my other bags. So I can sell that. Sell these pants. These I will definitely want to wear. And we've got some additional... These... I need to get into the sales screen. This piece is no sell. It's one of the original pieces of gear I got. I'm kind of annoyed by that. I feel like it's not really going to blow the game economy up to pieces if you give characters a pittance for whatever starter gear they started with. And I mentioned this in these Vanguard videos, as in my Vanguard videos as well, but I haven't mentioned how you change outfits. Right now I'm still wearing my harvesting gear. Right here we have Sun Village Workshop. I could change to my adventuring gear by pulling up the character panel by pressing C and clicking on there. And there I am in my not terribly awesome looking robes. I can change to my crafting gear where it's even less cool looking. Back to harvesting gear. And I do have some very basic diplomacy stuff. So we'll go back to... it'll automatically change depending on what I'm doing too, so it's not like it's a big deal. But you can elect to wear some particular piece, some particular set of gear. Okay, so we have the green anvil over this person's head. That means that I have a crafting quest to turn in. We'll recall that that was the artisan.
Need something to do?
So we'll turn that in. And we'll get Sunset Brew. I don't even know what this does. Sometimes you just have to use stuff to find out what it does. Okay, so we can do 3 crafting quests here. And they're tied to 3 of the sort of over professions: the artificer, the blacksmith, and the outfitter. When you choose to go into crafting, you pick one of these 3, and then when you reach level 11, you will pick a specialization in that. So we're going to actually take all 3 of these if we can.
Best for you.
Actually, let's see.
Are you busy?
So we've pretty much at random picked Artificer.
I wish you the best.
And what we have to do now, if we go here, I'm gonna show you the tracker here. In the quest log, which you hit again by pressing L, you can show the different chunks for one thing. So it'll show the nearest chunk, or it will show all relevant chunks. In this case, the only relevant chunk is the Isle of Dawn, or show the chunk that you will complete it in. Or you can show the start date, which is not actually terribly useful. So let's just show that instead. Or let's show all relevant chunks, I think. Okay, and then we can go to Tracker, and we can filter out crafting quests or diplomacy quests in the quest tracker over here. In this case, since we're going to be following all three, and you're never really going to be in a position on the Isle of Dawn to come up against the 15 quest limit that you have as a free player. That's a manageable limit, by the way. It's kind of low. You'll certainly have to carefully manage your quests to live with that. But my quest limit is 50 because I'm on a gold account here. So we'll go here. We need to speak to Yoshin Storm Valley in the Sun Village Workshop. He's probably in here. He is. And we will get some crafting tools from him. So let's equip those. We'll pull up our crafting tab. And we have a tool belt, which will go right here. Now, the one with the check, you have 3 different tool belt slots here, and you can switch between them during crafting, and we will, I'm sure, get to that. But they are 3 slot items. So we'll accept that. Accept that. And we'll accept this. But one tool belt. Let's get to the layout mode so we don't have to deal with that, where it's half hidden behind my... Let's go up here. That looks good. Alright, so now we have another quest here. And you'll see, as I've also mentioned before, that we are a Kaliathari Artificer. We're currently still level 1. We've gained no experience so far.
Don't be idle.
We're using utilities. And what's the objective there? Speak to Yoshin Storm Valley again, and he'll give me some utilities, I'm guessing. Does he give me a... Oh, good, he does. He also gave me a crafting bag, which will be useful, which we will throw right there. And I think we're going to want to move that around too. Okay, and then we can throw these solvents into the pouch. And then we will put stuff, let's see, I'm probably going back here again, yep.
Don't be idle.
I'm actually not gaining any experience for doing these things. Not entirely sure how I managed to do that, but that's okay. Okay, so we have to do some sculpted wood. So go to a sculpting table and begin to craft. Select the available recipe. We'll look for a sculpting table. It's right here. Special recipes under artificing. We'll have a very basic beginner's recipe. So let's begin. There's no time limit on this. First we get to crafting table setup, and you'll see for this particular recipe, and this does vary depending on what you're doing, that I have 3 slots available. So we'll check that we have 1 solvent on the table. We'll put another one on to eat up a second slot. You can tell that they're on the table by the green checks. And that should be more than sufficient. So we'll begin, and we get to our artificing panel here. This is how crafting works in Vanguard. I've never actually done this on video before. And you basically have 1, 2, 3, 4 different stages, and you go through the stages one at a time. Those stages which have 2 different options, you have the option to do one or the other. So let's start with this first stage, which is where we select our ingredients. And we have wood, and I'm using supplied materials. You'll notice down here in the tooltip, supplied materials basically means that I don't have to provide my own raw materials. And that was successful. And what you'll notice is that I have a grade here for quality, and then I have action points, which represent my total allowance of things I can do inside of crafting. And it looks like these particular crafting recipes do not cost me action points, which makes this super duper easy. And then I have a progress bar down here at the bottom, and I want to fill all these up. So we'll hit that. We have one. Actually, this does cost action points. Progress moderate, base action point costs 75. So we'll probably have to do this a couple of times. Actually, we have completed it, so that's full. We can tell because we're at 50% for the stage, which is both of these items. You can do these in either order. Now here's where I have an option. And this does cost me, so you'll notice in the tooltip, progress moderate costs me 1 solvent, and it costs 75 action points. And this one has quality high, which is probably what we want to do, because the higher our quality, the higher the experience we get for the crafting combine. This costs 2 solvents and 100 action points, but we appear to have plenty of action points at this time. And you can see our quality has gone up to 8%, so we'll do that one again. You can also see that the progress we're getting out of it is pretty bad. And we're almost at D, which will be 25%. We still have plenty of action points remaining. We want to at least get into B here. B is a pretty good place to be. We'll do one of these. Okay, and that completes that stage. There will be times when to complete the stage you will have to hit it more than once. This time around we have progress moderate, tool required saw, which we have in our tool belt. And we could change tool belts by hitting that. That does cost some action points. So we'll hit this. This isn't going to increase my quality any. And then this time around we have 2 different options for stage 4. We have this one, which costs 100 action points, and the quick polish, which costs 0 action points and gives me a moderate quality loss, which we don't really want. We're still in grade B, and that's kind of where we want to be. Looking at the action points, it certainly looks like we could have gone up to quality A. We had a ton of action points left. But you have to budget those points.
Best for you.
And plan ahead, because you may run into complications that cost you action points, and in fact we're going to deal with that now. We'll go here. So this one is probably going to take, let's look at the quest, going to take me back to the sculpting table. Yes indeed. Okay, we'll go back to special recipes, quality and complication training. We will begin, and again we will put 2 solvents on there. You'll notice that it'll give me the full. I don't actually need 2 full ones. That's exceptionally unlikely that I'll go through all those. And there are other of these crafting compounds that you use throughout the crafting process. And especially once you get into complications, you may need 2 or 3 or even more of them, really. But you can still complete the combine even if you don't have one available. So we'll begin, and we will use again supplied materials. When you start doing recipes on your own, you're able to supply the materials, and you get a quality boost at the beginning for doing so. So we'll complete this guy. And you can see our progress is considerably lower this time around. So I'll have to do this multiple times. And we go to solvent, and we definitely want to increase quality here. And we have quite a ton of action points available, so. Haven't hit a complication yet. We're going to push for A here this time.
Huh?
Actually didn't gain any XP from that. Oh, and there's There's our complication. Okay, so we can hover over this and see general maintenance. Requires use of station and tool actions. So we click on that, and what we have here is requires the attribute problem solving, which is one of your crafting stats. And it costs 50 action points. So we'll click that. And where we're going is we want to decrease that red bar to 0, and we got a guy hovering over our heads here. She's just zoned in. We are in B still, so we'll do one more of these to get to A. And we've got another complication. This one looks like pretty much the same complication. And you see that the red bar went down, but not all the way, so we're going to have to do it again. Complications can be good or bad. They can increase your quality, they can decrease your quality. If you don't address them, they tend to decrease your quality. We're going to, since we appear to have a lot of action points left, we're going to push for pristine, which is 100% quality. And here we are. And we need to do this again for 50 action points. Once you get into actual crafting, you will hit those pretty much every time. So now we gotta hope we've got enough points left, which we should. Sometimes, too, you'll be working on this part of the stage, and this part of the stage will go down, and you'll have to go back to it, which is an annoyance. Okay, and we've got another complication. Now, we have the option to ignore this, and generally we don't want to do that because it will decrease our quality if we do. Alright. We have 109 action points left. This costs 100. And it should finish it completely. We got 100% out of that. So.
Yeah! I carry the best variety.
Proper attire. Turning this quest in will give us, no doubt, some crafting gear. And it looks like that is our level 2 in Artificer. And work orders, which we'll get to next. But first we are going to equip our new crafting gear, and then I will call this video because it's at about half an hour. So we have a crafting chest, which let's see, I can equip that. Actually, that goes in the apron slot. There's a special apron slot, and crafting gloves, which we hadn't filled either. And just because we want to stay organized, we'll put this apparently consumable item. Oh, I wonder what this does. Okay, I have no idea what that does. Anyway, we have another quest to do. We're going to finish a work order. We're going to do that in here, and we will call this video. I will see you in the next video, which I am going to commence filming immediately. I hope you are enjoying these Vanguard playthroughs on the Isle of Dawn. In the notes below, you will find a link to my website at ardwulfslair.wordpress.com, as well as links to following me on Twitter, Google+, and Facebook. So check those out, subscribe to the channel. We have more videos coming, not just for Vanguard, but this week in particular, we are concentrating on Vanguard and its brand new free-to-play system. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this. Thank you, and I will see you next time.